Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, March 5th, and today is Orange Day. It's where we talk about Bitcoin and everything related to Bitcoin. This is also the first episode under the Retire on Crypto YouTube channel umbrella. So, yeah, I mean, again, I had to separate the various channels because it doesn't make sense to combine the three different topics anymore. Obviously, it disrupts the algorithm, and it also is an interruption to the people who are actually interested in retiring on dividends. They're not interested in crypto. They're not interested in doing their own options and so on and so forth. So, that is why we're here, and that is why we have a massive number of subscribers, 24 at the moment. I know, it's so impressive, but obviously, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. But yeah, anyway, let's get to it. All right, Bitcoin, what price are we at? 73.2. All right, so not bad. Yesterday was a good day, and we'll see how it goes. Obviously, as you know, as time goes on, Bitcoin is whooping some ass. Obviously, we'll do well. Hopefully over the weekend too. Who the hell knows, man? Who the hell knows? But we finally had a decent recovery from the 60s. We'll see if we stay though, right? We just we're hanging around until then. But the top tippity top yesterday. Let's see what the hell we're looking at. 73.9. Did we? No, we didn't hit 74. So obviously, also we were down to what 70. But overall, look at the past week though. Much better outlook, obviously, than what we've been dealing with. Previously we were down to what 60, 63 range. So I don't know. Here we have a note here again. On CoinMarketCap, they have periodic notes that actually matter. Let's see. Chinese EV company Juzi Holdings signed $1 billion deal to acquire 10,000 BTC. All right. Is that enough to move the market? Maybe. Again, I guess it lines up exactly by the minute. So, maybe it did well, maybe it didn't. But anyway, let's keep going. So that's the Bitcoin update. Let's look at the pre-market. Obviously, pre-market as of 6:10 a.m. The S&P is up barely 0.02. The NASDAQ is up 0.01. The Dow, oh, what the heck? You see that? Let me refresh. All right, never mind. Everything's red. S&P's red, NASDAQ's red, Dow's red, Russell's red. What happened? Something happened. But yeah, we'll see. All right, so what is the point of the freaking Orange series? Why are we here? Why are we talking about, why are we on Retire on Crypto? What's with all these damn channels, right? So basically, I have now, I guess we can call it an obsession with tracking and learning about Bitcoin, MSTR, and the various products underneath. As a different way to make money, a different way to help me retire, a different way to, invest. Because, obviously the stock market's great, options are great, but there's a whole nother side. There's the crypto side, right? Led by its leader, Bitcoin. All right. Bitcoin's really the one that kind of, made a name for itself overall. There's been a lot of shit coins since, but Bitcoin is really, we'll call it the market leader in the crypto space. So that's really the one that I'm sticking to. I know people love Ethereum, that people love XRP, Bitcoin Cash. What else is there? There's a whole bunch of others. There's Solana. Solana's becoming a big thing. And I don't know. Pick your poison, right? But I think Bitcoin, in my opinion, is here to stay, but who the hell knows? All right. So for this series, in case you've been sleeping, missing out, we've done 5 episodes so far. By the way, I'm assuming the audio works, right? Are we all good on the audio? Hopefully mic check 1 2 1 2. But anyway, we have where is it? We had the intro, we had history of Bitcoin, we had the transactions, top of the crop, and then Bitcoin halving, again my favorite episode, shit coins, which was last week. All of those are under the Retire on Dividends YouTube channel. They're going to stay there. You can't really move them. I mean, you could, but you got to pay a lot of money to download them and move them. It's not worth it. So we're starting on episode 6 on this channel, and the topic is retire on STRC. I did pull up some other cool information as well, and we'll just get to it. Again, this is nothing crazy. I'm just, each week I'm going to try to learn something new about Bitcoin, about something related to crypto, Bitcoin, and share it with you guys. If that interests you, great. If not, is this channel going to get monetized? I don't know. It doesn't matter to me anymore. Honestly, I really don't give a crap about YouTube income. I seriously don't. It's not. It was really good in the beginning, and I was like, yeah. But I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? This is a long-term venture, and I'm going to build out, the things that interest me. So I have the 3 interests. I have the dividends, obviously, which that's number 1, and then options, but trading options on your own, and then this, and then that's it. There's no more. So don't worry. You don't have to subscribe to yet another channel. So you're stuck with the 3. All right. This is the big 3. This is where it ends. I mean, unless there's like a personal channel, which I definitely do not want to do, but hey, never say never, right? All right. Any questions in the chat? What do we got going? We got Migs, who is number 1. So we got Migs, and then I think the biggest Woody, showed up. Where'd he go? Did he run away? And then we got Wolf. So thank you all. Again, this is not like, I'm guessing it's not going to be that crowded because a lot of people don't know about the channel. I didn't really pump it out too much. To be honest, I probably should have. But again, slow builds. If you find it, it was meant to be. If you don't, I don't care. It don't matter, brah. All right, so let's look at again, I always show my first buy, just FYI, it's always fun to look back. December 17th. December 7th, 2017. Yeah, I bought some. It was 17,000 per coin at the time, and I bought it, on the Bitcoin. And it was I bought it, and I bought more, and I bought more, and I bought more, and I ended up getting involved in some Ponzi scheme, and I lost all my money. It was great. Let me just tell you, it was a wonderful journey. So I said, you know what, screw this, screw Bitcoin, screw this. And then I got out of it. And then eventually when I got back into it, I got involved with shit coins. And then, over the years, eventually I finally got back. And, I'll say March of last year was, they say the price you deserve, whatever. So the price I really got back in was 84,000. We're actually under that. So I'm technically getting a discount, if you think about it, from what I, really believe. Because it's hard because you always think to yourself, oh, I'm too late. It's too late. I'm not going to bother because I'm too late. Just because you're not one of those suckers that got rich off Bitcoin years and years ago doesn't mean you're too late, right? And it's hard to swallow that pill. It took me quite some time to get over it, right? Because again, it's like, all right, bro, you didn't buy it. Get over it, move on. But you still have a chance to actually, own some, make some money in the long term, build some wealth, for you and your family. So, why not? Maybe you won't, right? Maybe it'll turn into something or turn into nothing. That's possible. Of course, anything's possible. But maybe if you keep buying it, now, because again, it is still early. I know it's hard to say that or even think that, but once, if you do think that way, it does give you some positive feeling about it in the long term. So, but yeah. All right. Anyway, let's keep going. History. I already did this video. Obviously, I've been posting The ones in yellow on Twitter, I just do like one a day if I remember, to share with that gang. Transactions, we went through that in another video. And then, of course, halving, the final halving will be in 2140, where eventually all of the Bitcoin will be mined, 21 million, and that'll be it. No more in circulation after that. Okay. And that's the idea. But again, as time goes on, we're all the way up here, right? So we have about what? Supposedly we'll have about 20 million. I don't know the true number. Again, these are all like estimated figures based on the calculation, but it should be pretty close. But we're around like 19, the high 19 mils at the moment. So most of them were mined. Obviously, there's not much left. But as time goes on, you'll see like the value, of each coin. It's going to be more and more rare to be mining, whole Bitcoins, right? In fact, here, Bitcoin mined, if you look at this year, not this year. When I say this year, I'm talking about this 4-year cycle. We look at what? Okay, so there's 210,000 blocks. The reward per block is 1.56. So 1.56 times what is it? Yeah, this is a decimal. So it's 328,000 Bitcoin mined during this 4-year cycle. This essentially gets cut in half every 4 years. So if you go down here, they're going to be mining 1 Bitcoin in 2100. The whole 4 years, they're going to mine 1 freaking Bitcoin, 1.25. Could you imagine? Like, just think about that. It's hard. Like I said, it is hard to, because we're all in the now. We want to get rich now, and I get it, man. I'm with you, man. I don't want to work anymore. I really don't. I just want to do what I want on my own time. But unfortunately, yeah, I don't have that chance. But this gives me, a better chance in my eyes. All right. So anyway, what else we doing? 160 again. So, like I said, you could see it's pretty much, like I said, cut in half every 4 years, and eventually they can't mine anymore, right? It goes down to 0.0012 for the 4 years, and then there's nothing left to mine. So there's no Bitcoin left over. So that being said, 21 million Bitcoin, right? So what about like how many people are in the US? Well, I don't know. Google says 342 mil. All right. Based on the current circulating supply of 19.9 million, that means each person can own 0.05 Bitcoin. So if you own more than 0.05 Bitcoin, you're already ahead of the game in my eyes, right? I'm not saying everyone, wants to buy Bitcoin. I'm not saying everyone should buy Bitcoin. I'm not saying babies buy Bitcoin. But you never know, man. It could be, like the S&P, like, you just buy, like people buy their kids stocks one day. It might be just like automatic. Oh, my kid's born, I'm going to buy him some Bitcoin. I mean, that is happening today. I do it. So there could be others doing it, thinking about it, like newborns. Oh, let's just buy him some Bitcoin because, it'll go up over time. But that's not going to be the thought process for quite some time for the average investor, obviously. But, again, just to give you an idea. And then, of course, in 2140, Bitcoin, let's see, 21. Yeah, so there will be 20, again, obviously it'll go up to 21 million. So that'll jump up, a tenth, not a tenth, 100th. And it'll go up to 0.06 per person. So even, again, like I said, I mean, if you own 0.07, you're, in the end, you have more than, the individual person. And this is just the US, by the way. Okay. Just the US. Now, if we look at the world, okay, we got a big number now. Now we're, 8.3 billion, again, per Google. I don't know. The Bitcoin per person in the whole world, because again, most countries, actually, I don't want to say that. I don't know if most countries allow it. I'll just say a lot of countries allow it. But regardless, out of the whole world, 0.002 Bitcoin per person as of today. So, and that's attainable. You can buy that now. It's not, I don't even think it would be that expensive, right? In fact, here, I'll help you out. Do that, do times, and I got, where's the Bitcoin price? It's under here, right here. Here, boom. So $175 would buy you the price, the Bitcoin per person as of today in the world, just to give you guys an idea. So even if you threw like $200 at it and you just sat there, that's better than nothing. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, if I'm on the right track here. And then again, once all the supply's out, it doesn't move the needle much. So 0.002 is still kind of the number. I also added MSTR because MSTR is obviously the leader in this space. They own the most, Bitcoin out of any one company. Their outstanding shares is 314 million. So if we look at it from that aspect, in the US, the average MSTR share per person would be 0.91. So if you own one share of MSTR, you're already ahead, right? Because again, as Bitcoin goes up, you damn right MSTR is going to go up. You see it, right? Bitcoin's been going up over the past, I don't know, a few days, maybe a week. Look, here, I'll give you an example. So if we look at IBIT, I can't really pull up Bitcoin on here. So IBIT over the past 5 days is up 5.63%. Let's see what MSTR is. MSTR, yeah, it's up about double. It's, it's not always double, but it's around there. So it's up 10% over the past, oh wait, that's 1 day, sorry. No, the 5 days is up 7.95%. So almost double. So again, it's kind of like a leveraged Bitcoin play, but yeah, you could treat it like owning a piece of MSTR. Yeah, it's another way to own Bitcoin. But does this make sense to you peeps? My first subscribers, my first viewers. Okay. Yeah, audio is good. Thank you. Wolf, you own 0.025. Hey, you're already ahead of the bunch, right? If you buy, if you double that, you'll be ahead of the, the US average. But again, it's not, this is, it's worldwide. So looking at it in US, it's not really a fair comparison, whatever. Double D is still less than 0.01. Hey, but you have some, that's more than, again, most people can say, but it's hard to want to buy more unless you really have a belief in it. But that's why this channel is here, so we can kind of, learn together. What else we got? A1 started in 2019. Wow, good job, A1. But were you buying like nonstop from then till now? Let's see. 3K. I bought it 3K, sold it 8K. Yeah, exactly. I know, man. If I would have done the same thing, except I just lost mine through a Ponzi. I would have sold it anyway if I had a profit. Yeah, I don't have a song yet. Ambassador of Quan, if you're listening, if you're out there, if you listen after, we will need an R to the O to the C song. That makes you special. Or a fool. I don't know. I don't know which one. Oh, we have a ex-visitor, Glenn Allen. Welcome, Glenn Allen. Thank you for being here. What is the advantage of owning MSTR versus the Bitcoin? I would think just owning the Bitcoin would be cutting out the middleman. Well, yeah, definitely. Let me take a sip of coffee. Again, I think MSTR is more of a leverage play. But which is good. If Bitcoin goes up, it's bad if Bitcoin goes down. You also have the risk of the company at hand. If the company changes their mind and does something completely different, obviously that's going to screw things up. So you owning Bitcoin outright is probably the most, I don't want to say less risky, because there's all kinds of risk with this whole, thing, where you buy it, where you hold it, things like that. but nothing beats owning Bitcoin outright. You know, that's just my thought. But there's of course nothing wrong with owning it through MSTR, either separately or on top of owning the Bitcoin outright. Because again, you've seen Michael Saylor. A lot of us wouldn't even know what Bitcoin is without him. Like obviously, a lot of us trust what he's doing. You know, at this point, do we believe like he's committed to what he says? I mean, I do. You know, a lot of people still don't, but I mean, I buy MSTR daily, just like I buy Bitcoin. I buy the same amount, $10 a day, and I believe in both. But yeah, there's less risk just buying Bitcoin. Of course, if you buy it in a safe place, like a safe exchange that won't like scam you somehow. But a lot of them are, you know, legit. Like you could buy it on Bitcoin now, which is awesome. Migs is at like 0.0. Wow, that's a lot of zeros, Migs. We got to get you up there, you know? Got to get you monetized on your workout channel so you can buy some more Bitcoin. Wolf has a lot of crypto exposure, that's for sure, but Wolf likes that income. But hey, maybe you can use that income to do some daily buys, right? On and off, I didn't have much to buy with, so I bought 20, 10 at a time. Okay. Yeah, I'm buying, I did about 10. MSTR has more upside later on, though. Yeah, because they're going to be like the Bitcoin bank, as they say. The Bitcoin fiesta. He's still wishy-washy. Yeah, he is a weird man. The lowest I bought Bitcoin was under 4K. Yeah, you did better than me. Although I was watching it. I feel like I did get a purchase in at 5K though, to be honest. I'll have to track, but that 17K was my first purchase. I think it did dip. But you know, I was a fool. Complete fool then. I didn't know what the hell was. I don't even know what I was buying. You know, I was just a jackass, as they say. $100. I got $1. I got $1. Good morning. Another ex-visitor. Debarak. Welcome. All right. Even in the Epstein files, they say he's weird and awkward. What are you reading the Epstein files nowadays, Migs? Come on. We got better things to do. All right. So that's the supply and how much you can, own per person. I know I'm moving slow. Sorry. Let me get my ass moving. But I do enjoy doing this video. It is fun to me. Hopefully you guys have some fun. All right. So now we're going to move on. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is now us tracking the what they call the Bitcoin treasury companies. These are the companies that hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet, and a lot of it. Obviously, you see who's at the top. There's no surprise. Strategy is number one. No one's catching them. No one is catching them. There's no way. Because look at this. They own about 3.6% of the current circulating supply, right? Mara owns 0.27%, and they're in second. So Strategy is the true Bitcoin treasury company, and no one can really touch them. And guess what? By the way, week over week, they did add 3,015 Bitcoin. Cha-ching. Mara, yeah, good job, Mara. You're adding 2. They added 572 Bitcoin. So nice job. Nice to see. I was in shock when I saw this. Someone's got to call our boy Trump. But Trump Media, it looks like, right? They went from 11,542 down to what? How are you going to drop Bitcoin? How are you going to sell 2,000 Bitcoin, bruh? That ain't cool. But that dropped them down from number 12 to now number 13. So now Tesla is number 12. So that's interesting. Block added some Bitcoin. They added 103. Good job, Block. American Bitcoin Corp added 461. And then we got Nakamoto. No, not Nakamoto. Sorry. ProCat Financial went ahead of Nakamoto by buying 450 more Bitcoin. So out of the top 20 companies, 2,601 additional Bitcoin were purchased. So good job, Chico. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention on the other page, there is a website that tracks the Bitcoins per person. Yes, it's an actual website and it looks like it's live. It just shows total Bitcoin against the world population. You know, it does kind of line up with my number too. And obviously people are being born that fast in the world. I mean, that's insane. Like, who the hell's popping out these babies? All right. Anyway, so I thought that was pretty cool. Maybe you don't, but all right. So that's that website. The treasury companies, again, I think that's pretty cool to track. Let me close out that one. But here's the treasury company. No, where is it? Here it is. So again, GameStop is number 21 to give you guys an idea. There's others. Any notables, any like secret buyers that we don't know about, any companies that don't talk about it but buy it. Again, I don't really know much of these companies, but obviously, you know, they're trying to make a name. I see Rumble, but what the hell's Rumble Inc? Is that are they Canadian? Mac House, the Bitcoin Depot. You know, you guys could be on here. You got a company? Do it. Do it. Do it. All right. So anyway, that's the Bitcoin, you know, the treasury companies. All right. So let's move on to the title of this video. And I don't know if you guys remember way back in the day, I used to make how to retire on videos based on historical data. But to be honest, STRC is probably the first fund we can honestly say, all right, we kind of know what it's going to happen with this fund, right? What is STRC? Well, you guys know what it is, but if I have to explain it, it's, you know, it's a preferred stock that Strategy issued that basically just pays you a monthly dividend, and the NAV don't move. It may go from 95 to 105. That's possible, but the idea is it's going to stay at $100. You can see it's currently at $100.05, and the current dividend yield is 11.5%. All right. So what do you do? What do you say? Again, it's 11.5 annualized. So you take that and you divide it by 12, and there's your monthly payment, which in the scheme of things in the high yield dividend space, yeah, it's not a lot, but in comparably to like the 4% rule, if you're trying to retire and you need some more income, yeah, it's not bad. But I wanted to run some numbers. So like, again, I'm just using, let's use my example, because I have like, let's just say I have like 55,000 in my account. And I just went like, you know what? I'm done with options. I'm done with high yield ETFs. I'm just buying 55,000 STRC. And then, you know, how much per week? Well, you know what? I'm going to go thug nasty, and I'm going to throw like 200 per week. Okay. Okay. So right off the bat, obviously the calculations are being done to the right, but right off the bat, my monthly income would be 527. You know, that doesn't pay my bills though. So this is why I'm not doing it. You know, I had a thought behind doing it, but it would not pay my bills. But if I just did that and I let it drippity doo dah for 13 years, then I would be at a monthly income of $2,671. I would also go from a capital of 55,000 to 281,000, which again, it does not seem like a lot. And it is not really that much, but again, it's no capital appreciation, but there's no capital decline too. So, you know, take the good with the bad. But let's just say you retire with $1 million, right? And you can't deposit anything. Just right off the bat, you'll be making about, you know, 115,000 a year. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is return of capital. So, you know what that means, you know, it's deferred, you know, you can defer your tax on it basically, for however long. In this example, it would be approximately, you know, about 10 years, you know, or slightly less, maybe. I don't know. We got to see how it goes. Sometimes the payments get higher, sometimes more times than not, the yield has gone up, but it's going to come down. So don't get too excited, guys, because as this fund gets more popular, the amount of the fund, the price will, you know, move up maybe a little too fast. So they may have to cut the yield. I could see that. So they probably don't want to, I'm guessing, because people will be upset and they don't want a mass sell-off. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see to follow how this works. They did mention they have a whole year's worth of cash aside to pay out the dividend. So for people worried about that, that should be covered. But yeah, man, I don't know. You got, for those of you that are live, you got any numbers? Like, what's your goal retirement number? You know, because a lot of people say, when I'm retired, I don't want to trade options. I don't want to follow the market, you know? So if that's the case, like, what do you think? Like, are you going to have $1 million at retirement? Right? If you do, then yeah, you can make 115,000 with this. Is that enough? Maybe, maybe not, right? I don't know. But again, it's just a different way, different way to look at it. But Double D's leaving. All right, have a good day at work. Who else? Bruce is here. Hey, Bruce, what up? What up? What up? Yeah, we're just chilling. We're just talking a bit of coin. You know what I mean? All right. Anyway, that's a quick note on the retire on STRC. When Mig says, when I retire, I only want to look at the market as a hobby. All right. So again, that we need to know, like, is this a good, investment for someone who wants to retire? I know there was an event going on, and I think the focus was making STRC, or strike as they call it, available to corporations. And they're saying it's more of a corporation benefit than anything else. So 1 million is more than enough for Mig. So if Migs has 1 million and he buys STRC, he could live off 115,000 per year, right? I mean, I think so. If you have no kids, maybe, I don't know. Right now, I could not live off. I don't know. No, well, it's not taxable though, too. So you have to look at it that way. Man, that'd be sweet. That would be sweet. Whew. All right. Oh my goodness, LA Appliances here. We got a new subscriber. How are my channel analytics doing? Oh, there we go. 27 subscribers. This channel is blowing up. We're going viral here. We're unstoppable. It's like we're starting from scratch again, right? All right. Anyway, so now we're going to the top of the crop. Why do I talk like that? Again, the Macho Man. That's something the Macho Man says. You guys should know that. All right. Anyway, so what are we doing here? We're looking at the ETFs, right? Who owns the most Bitcoin? ETFs? Yes. Countries? Yes. Public. Why is this weird how the public companies? I copy that right? Let me go down. Got a link somewhere here. Oh, no, I have it right here, I think. There you go. Let's go back to the top. Countries. Yeah, why is public companies? What kind of sort you got going here, website? That does not make me feel good about this site. Whatever. All right. So I guess they want to keep it in order. But anyway, the countries, no change in the countries anyway. But Bitcoin ETFs, they have added 17,000 Bitcoin. But again, it looks like they're simply working on supply and demand. So as people buy and sell IBIT, YBTC, whatever the freaking ticker is, I don't know. What is the no, I'm sorry, not YBTC, FBTC. I think that's the Fidelity one. But as people buy and sell that, obviously this number will change. Public companies did add 3,000, so that's good. Private added none that we know of. Bitcoin mining, none, and DeFi, none. Countrywide, again, this is surprising the hell out of me. I would have thought something would have changed by now, but these countries did not add any. Maybe, again, they have to go through all these loopholes to get approval. That's what seems to be happening in the USA, and maybe, I don't know. I would love to see this number just big jump, assuming this website is actually current. But anyway, USA is the leader of the Bitcoin holdings by country, but not by much. China's right behind them, and then UK is very far third. All right. All right, now what are we looking at? Again, the ETF change we saw. It's a big change. IBIT is the BlackRock one, right? 11,000. 11,000 increase there. So again, there's several of them. Again, Fidelity looks like to be number 2, and then Grayscale number 3. Again, Grayscale's been around, way before these suckers, but their expense ratio was always kind of a ripoff. We know our friend Ethan, I forget his last name, but he's a YouTuber. He always talked about Grayscale. I'll never, forget. And I think it did well for him, and it was just a way to buy Bitcoin, right? And it still is. I don't know what changed or how they bought it before versus what they do now, but I don't know. All right, anyway, let me catch up on some comments. 27, that's right, we're blowing up. We're taking names. You buy STRC on Robinhood if your broker don't have it. We're going to be tired of winning so much on this. Yeah, this channel's crypto dominance. We are going to dominate the crypto space because we are the crypto geniuses over here. Elliot Appliance, I'm very interested in STRC. I haven't bought any yet. Yeah, it's interesting. It took me a while to finally buy some, but they launched at $90 actually. So if you bought early on, you got like a woo-wee discount. I have STRC, but I want to only buy when, yeah. I mean, the discount really lies under $100. So buying it at 100, you're not really doing yourself any favor. If you buy at any price underneath 100, yeah, you're getting the discount. You're getting the better yield on costs. You're getting some capital appreciation if it does, stay at that $100 range. Migs will still pass. We will talk. We will work on that, Migs. That's for sure. But anyway, let's move on. We're getting there. Preferred stocks. All right. So again, talking about STRC, they did raise their distribution. Well, it's not a distribution. It's a freaking dividend because they are a stock. These are preferred stocks. They raised their dividend from 11.25% to 11.5%, which is good. It is. It's really good. Because I mean, where the hell are you getting 11.5% with stable NAV? Not many places. Not many places. But yeah. So, but do they have competition? Yeah, they do. SATA, right? 12.5%. Ooh, that's the backing of Strive, though, ASST. So it's a little different, but same idea. So if we can't get Migs to buy Strike, he definitely ain't buying SATA. All right, anyway, let's look at the daily change file. How we doing? All right, let me zoom in a sec. I got to drink my coffee. What's going on, peeps? Oh, that's good. That's good coffee. I don't feel like working today, but guess what? Took off yesterday. Oh, man. Amazing. Just amazing to take a random day. Oh. Can't even tell you. Anyway, what are we looking at? Bitcoin supply, it did change. It went from 19.994.815 to 19.997.853. So it increased to 3,038. So, Bitcoin is being mined. That's what that shows me. I know a lot of people are saying, well, the Bitcoin, the miners, it's not worth it for them. Obviously it is because they're mining. I don't know who's mining. It ain't me. I don't have a miner. Is this something I'm going to look into? Probably not, to be honest. I'd rather just buy it and let the people do what they do. Supply left about a mil, but yeah, we're getting there. All right, MSTR Bitcoin. Again, we saw they did add 3,015, so they own about 720,000 Bitcoin. Their MNAV went down about 1% week over week. MSTR price change went up 7.95% for the week, so that's always good. So congrats MSTR holders, congrats Misty holders, congrats MSTW holders. STRC went up a 0.09%. They're again at that $100 range, so no discounts at the moment. ASST, they did not add the Bitcoin. again, I messaged them on X. They did not answer me. I tried to get an answer like what's the frequency of your Bitcoin buys, and nothing yet. So I guess I gotta, maybe I'll do it not in the message. I'll do it. I'll tag them. Maybe they'll have to answer. All right. MNAV change. It went up, 100th. They went up 1%. They're going about up, I guess, 1% per week. Here's the big jump, man. ASST, they did jump 13% in 1 week. So if you own ASST, if you own shares of Strive, which again, this is Strive, then you got a massive gain. As far as SATA goes, SATA actually went down in price. Again, it's very new. So, but this is a discount, right? It is. And I'm going to show you on the YOC tab in a second. All right, so check this out, right? So obviously STRC, the price is at 100.05. The yield, the payment is going to be based on that par NAV, as they call it, of $100. So the annual dividend right now is 11.5, $11.50 per year, which is good, right? Because you take 100 and you multiply it by 11.5%. So if you bought now, you're actually getting a lesser yield on cost. So you're doing yourself no favors buying this at any price over 100. If you buy it at 100, obviously you'll get the 11.5, which is great. But if you buy under 100, then you're good. You're getting a better yield on cost. You'll always have a better yield on cost, ideally. SATA has a current price of 94.61. Again, same thing. Their par NAV is 100. So if you get paid 12.5%, but your cost basis is 100, obviously you'll get 12.50. But everyone's getting 12.50. But your yield on cost would be 12.5%. But if you own it at the current price, 94.61, your yield on cost essentially would be 13.21%. So obviously, this yield, that's the yield on 100. But if you bought at the current price, you would get a 13% yield, a higher than 13% yield, if that makes sense. So again, when it comes to either of these funds, anytime you buy them under $100, it is a bargain basement deal. STRC, as it grows in popularity, it's less and less likely to be doing any big drops, any big discounts. You may see it in the high 90s. And if you do, you might want to grab it. I don't know. I own about 100 of them in my one account, and the Retire Now account. It don't pay much for owning 100. So I got to buy more if I wanted to make a difference, if I wanted to actually pay a bill and then build it up. But in due time. So anyway, that's the yield on cost. Speaking of my holdings, here is the update for you guys, if you care. I know you don't talk about the Bitcoin. No, you couldn't tell people how much Bitcoin you own. I don't get why people say that. So I shouldn't tell them what stocks I own either, right? I don't know. Like, why do people say that? Is it like a secret world? You can't say how much Bitcoin you own. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh no, don't do it. Don't. Anyway, I did it. Here we go. Current Bitcoin. I gotta let the dog out. Give me a sec. Okay, we got 121 people live on YouTube and X. Thank you for being here. Megs has a question. Look at you, Megs. You're still here. All right. You're still awake. Well, you said, I guess you're off today. You have jury duty. Supposed jury duty. Is Metaplanet doing their own preferreds too, or did they already? I don't know, actually. But the problem with Metaplanet, it's, Japanese. When I bought Metaplanet, I had to pay $50 freaking for the trade. $50. So I would imagine I would have to pay $50 to buy their preferred. So I'm not interested, as long as that's the case. So $50 transaction fee. No, thank you. No, thank you, sir. 4 hours. Wow. Better take a nap after this. All right. Anyway, here's the update. I own 0.117 of Bitcoin, which it took forever to get to 0.1. I'm not going to lie. But I'm not buying a lot. I'm buying, well, I was like $5 a day. I finally upped it to $10 a day, but I can't help myself. I buy all of these $10 a day because I want a piece of all of them. But anyway, for Bitcoin, I'm at 0.11. Am I ever going to get to 1 Bitcoin? I don't freaking know, man. I don't know. I'm not going to be too worried about it. I'm going to keep buying it as long as I can. And then, when it jumps up, if it has a high value, like if I have enough Bitcoin that I can retire early, yeah, I'm going to use that freaking money. You damn right. I'll use it and I'll just buy more Bitcoin. Right. Because again, it's really to benefit myself and my family. It's not really to be like, just to say I own Bitcoin. I'm the man. I own a lot of Bitcoin. No, it's to make money. All this is about making money. So whatever. If I have to sell my Bitcoin to retire early, oh, hell yeah. You damn right. That would happen. Hell yeah. If I had to sell my Bitcoin to buy a house on the water, oh, hell yeah. If I had to sell my Bitcoin, to pay for an expensive surgery for someone in the family, yeah, obviously. Anyway, the point is my Bitcoin, the value went up a little bit. It went up. My total Bitcoin went up 0.001. That's good, right? And the value went up about $600. MSTR, I own 12.72 shares now. The value is 1,862. STRC, I'm at 22.15. Again, this is not the same account with 100 shares. This is a separate account. This is my crypto account, essentially. But of course, yes, I own STRC in both accounts because I love what STRC is all about. And, I'm a believer in it. I think it's a great product. I think it's an amazing product, actually. I think it's an underrated product. And I've been tweeting about it. And it's getting a lot of reaction, actually. So I'm going to keep tweeting about it because it's underrated. I really do think it's still underrated out there, but whatever. But anyway, yeah, I only own about 22.15 shares here. What about ST, as they say, or Strive, 34.13 shares. So not much there. Again, these were newer buys because it took me a while to say, all right, I trust ASST. Remember, we used to make fun of it when I was trading options. And now I'm actually listening to a couple of interviews with the Strive team. I'm like, all right, they're pretty much like little sailors. They're like little baby Michael Sailors. They're just following his lead for the most part. So I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll jump in. I'm with you. I'll follow you guys. And if there's another Bitcoin treasury company with another preferred stock that comes out that I trust, I'll probably add it. I'm not going to lie because I'm nuts. But hey, in the end, total value went up about $900 for the week. That's not bad. Can't beat that, right? All right. So those are my holdings. Payouts, for the month of March, obviously we're in March now. STRC is going to pay me $19.54. I only know that because it shows like pending. Or you know what? I think they did pay me, actually. I think it already went through. SATA is going to pay me $870. That's a total monthly income of $28.24. Just to give you guys perspective, again, I have, going back to my holdings, if you look, I'm buying $10 a day, right? So, $10 a day, Bitcoin, that's $70 a week. Everything else, it's $50 a week, right? So that's what, $270 per week, which obviously this $28 per month does not cover that. So I'm still shelling out of pocket, right, to support those buys. I eventually want this to cover what I'm paying, what I'm buying out of, for the other ones, if that makes sense. All right. Anyway, moving along, loans. As far as the loan is concerned, I haven't done anything with it yet. But again, this is yet another account where I own 0.05 Bitcoin. Balance is 3,700. The loan allowed currently on that is 2,700, which means I can borrow about 73%. However, the loan to value ratio that you will get liquidated is 86%, which would be 3,200. But I did say that I'm only going to borrow a 25% ratio. 25% of my current balance would be $940. So I'm getting closer to that 1,000 mark at the 25% borrow rate. So again, I don't really have a set strategy or set plan with this, but yeah. Oh yeah, Shiny Rocks. That's something from my son's video game. It costs, sometimes he asks for this thing, it costs $30. Yes, $30 for, it's called. Oh man, if you guys have kids that play that game, you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, you're like, what the hell is this? But anyway, if we look at the rate, the loan rate. Actually, I didn't update the loan rate. Crap. Let me check real quick. Where is it? 4.5. All right, so it went down a little. So it's now at 4.5, which means my annual interest rate on 939, that would be 42.30. The Coinbase fee would be 940. Monthly interest, if I take these two numbers, divide by 12, that would be 431. If I invested in, actually, why do I should just, instead of typing it, I should select the actual, right here. There you go. If I invested in STRC with that money, I would make $901 per month. So that would pay off the interest and then leave me with $4.70 left. Is it worth it? Is it worth my time to do that based on these numbers? Obviously not. But again, as my balance grows, as the interest rate goes down, yes, it'll be worth it. But right now, do I want to risk Bitcoin for $470 a month? Not really. As an experiment, maybe. But right now, not so much. And I do have this final tab of the Strive team. Matt Cole's the guy that I've been listening to on the YouTube. And he's seems like a very smart dude. Not weird smart like Sailor, but, just like smarter than your average. But obviously, hearing him talk about some of the stuff. And then here's some other people. But again, this is a future episode. I'm just going to dive deep, do some quick research on this team because everyone knows Sailor. But if we're going to invest in a new product similar to MSTR like ASST, then you kind of want to know, the team, right? You want to know the various people underneath of that team to get an idea of what, who you're investing in, right? So that's pretty much it as far as this episode goes. Again, this is the Orange series. And yeah, let's see. Let me see if you guys have any comments. $5. Oh, it was $5 to buy MetaPlanet on E-Trade. Fidelity ripped me off then. Let's see. Take the 900, put in STRC. Yeah, I mean, you saw the numbers. It's not really worth it at the moment, but obviously, as time goes on and balances go up, over 10 years is probably, yeah, you're right. The sooner the better. Obviously, the compounding, I should just do it. But again, the real reason I'm not doing it is I didn't research Morpho. The loan is through Morpho. It's a company that Coinbase works with, and I didn't really read all of the documentation behind the loan information. So Jeff Walton from True North. Do you know what that is? I don't know. I do own 150 shares of ASST and one share. Wow, you're just dipping in. Why is the market flipping? Is the market flipping red, by the way? It was before, right? Let's go back here. Yeah, everything's red still. Russell's down 0.5%. What the hell is going on? Yesterday, I mean, was a nice green day. Today, it's not looking that great. Let's check Bitcoin again. That's the 1 week view. If we look at the 24-hour, yeah, I don't know. All right, so that's the update on again the Orange series. We have now what, 27 subscribers. Obviously, you know, hopefully this will grow in time, and we'll see. This will probably be the least popular channel, at least in the beginning. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be like a competition: retire on crypto versus retire on options, Rue versus Rock. But you know, we'll see. Obviously, I'm not going to get the same number of people joining this because not a lot of people care enough about crypto, and there could be people that just want to own crypto. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to read about it. But I think it's good to have some time, of random updates of random education on it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Migs, you don't own a lot of crypto, but you seem to be interested, unless you're just bored, right? And Wolf, well, Wolf is the most dedicated subscriber, so he's always showing up. But he does own a lot of crypto related stocks. LA, be right back. Well, you didn't have coffee yet, LA? Damn. But yeah. All right. Anyway, let's get to it. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I am just Retire on Crypto. And this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, come back next week for episode 7 of the Retire on Crypto series. There will be the Orange series, I'm sorry. There will be more content as we go. I want to bring in some crypto, experts and bring them onto the channel, either for interviews or just to talk. I don't know. We'll see. Or we could do a crypto roundtable, just like the options roundtable. We could do the crypto roundtable because, some people, they don't want to come on by themselves. They come on as a group. It's maybe a little better, but I don't know, man. I'm done yapping. I'm exhausted. But if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to say the keyword. So Migs, you're the first subscriber. You're the first one here today. You got to give me the keyword, brah. What's the keyword? Come on, man. He's fun. British Huddle. I met him. He's a good dude. He comes off brash, but that's part of the appeal. He's like, you pity people. I can't do his voice. But no, he's funny. I like him. Keyword is Rock versus Rue. All right, we'll go with it. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to say the keyword. Keyword today is retire on crypto versus retire on options. Who will win that battle? Rock versus Rue. Both degenerates. Both don't give a damn. Both put it all on the line. So it could be a good matchup. So it's orange versus blue. Are you ready? Boo, boo. All right. Anyway, that's the end of the video. So let me just say to the people that joined live, I appreciate it. Pretty good turnouts considering the first video ever. So thank you all for your live participation, especially Migs and Wolf. Appreciate it. Yeah, I hope to see you guys next week, and we shall talk later, Chico. But yeah, you got to type in the comments down below, Rock versus Rue, after I post the video, whether you're on X, whether you're on YouTube, you got to type it in, brah, or else we don't believe you. We don't believe you made it through the hour-long video. All right, I'm out of here. Have a good one. Later.